Hello, I'm Matthew Malcolm with California Ag Network, reporting to you from the annual conference of the California Association of Pest Control Advisors here in Reno this year. I'm here with the president and CEO of the organization, Ruth Ann Anderson. Thank you for putting this great event on year after year. We go from Reno to Disney.
Yes.
We really appreciate having you here today. Could you kind of give us a state of the industry as far as our pest control advisors go? Because you work with a lot of them. A lot of them are members of your organization.
So yes, we work with just a few. Around 2,700 of the state's PCAs are part of the CAPCA membership. And I would say, for the last nearly 50 years that the license has been around, we've had this focus on integrated pest management, or IPM. And I think, the buzz around here today is still very much about IPM, about nutrients and soil management and irrigation. But so much of our education is focused around pesticides and pest management, because of the California Department of Pesticide Regulations and kind of the structure that they have over the license.
I think our pest control advisors can often be demonized, by the public. Oh, what are they doing? They're spraying all these pesticides. And you mentioned something about a grant and your work from your organization as a voice for not only the industry but even the public, and trying to make sure that that's not the perception.
No, so one of the things that we have long recognized here at CAPCA is that one of the only things that we report to the state of California is our pesticide use. We don't report any of those other things we were talking about earlier. What are the nutrients? What are the mitigations? How are we using biologicals or beneficials? All the times that we go out and we look at a field or decide not to apply a pesticide, none of that gets tracked. And so we're really excited. We are partnering with CDFA. They've given us a grant through OPCA, and we are going to be doing a 200-person pilot in 2024 to be able to start tracking in and kind of painting in that other side of the picture, right? We only have the pesticide use report. How do we begin to paint in all the other things that are part of IPM and that we're already doing in the field?
Right. It's important to get credit, for oftentimes when they talk about sustainability and things that will bring back to the soil, take care of the land. Our farmers and pest control advisors, hand in hand, are doing that already, and they just need to get credit for it, right? Because these demands are being made, from the state, from the public, and they just don't understand, right?
And for us, this was a really proactive way to respond to the Sustainable Pest Management Roadmap that came out last winter, and be able to get ahead of any regulations that might be coming down the pipeline to say, what's the baseline? Let's start the conversation around what's actually happening in the field before we start expanding.
Right. So as far as this, the pilot program is going to get underway, is there any kind of outreach that you'd like to share about how some of our pest control advisors may want to get involved?
Of course, so we are looking for pest control advisors and their growers to participate in the survey. The majority of the money is actually going back to the industry. PCAs will get a $2,000 stipend, and their growers will get a hefty little thank you for participating in a series of surveys. So we're looking for PCAs in pistachios, grapes, tomatoes, and lettuce to participate, and we'll make sure that we get a link over to how you can sign up today.
Awesome. And then as far as, some of the state's goals for reducing the use or eliminating some of the high-risk pesticides by 2030, that's really frustrating a lot of farmers. Pretty vague, too, as far as what does that mean? And there's a lot of concern we're already very limited on the tools that we have to control some of the pests that are impacting our industry. I mean, even today, we were talking about a brand new pest that we didn't know was here, and we don't have any tool so far that we can use to fight it. It's like, what do we do if we're losing some of these tools? What is your take on that, and kind of how you're leading this organization to, I guess, just make sure that these farmers and these pest control advisors have the tools that they can use and recommend?
Yeah. So, CAPCA has always really based so much of our language and thought when we approach DPR and others in the agency about having enough tools in the toolbox to address a variety of issues, including emerging pests like you were alluding to. And so I think so much of it is giving us time to watch that innovation pipeline be able to grow and have opportunities and options in that toolbox to continue to be able to address, new pressures. Some of those could come from climate change, some of those come from emerging pests. All of that is something that we need robust tools, including nutrients and soil and non-pesticide options to be able to explore how does a healthy plant really fight back against disease and pests in that agronomic space.
Great. Well, we really appreciate all the work that you do with CAPCA, putting on this conference as well. Great opportunity to gather and talk about some of these important issues. Read more about these things in our publications. I'm Matthew Malcolm, CaliforniaAgNet.com.